Okay, ready for a deep dive? This one might surprise you. We're talking stomach acid.
You got it.
Yeah, the stuff we usually blame for heartburn.
Right. Right.
Well, get this. What if we've had it all wrong?
That's an interesting thought.
It is, and that's what we're going to explore today.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we're checking out this YouTube video by Dr. Carlos Jaramillo.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
The title in English is How to Cure Gastritis or Reflux Without Medications or Antacids.
Sounds intriguing.
It is, and his whole functional medicine approach, it's pretty different from what we usually hear about stomach problems.
For sure. Functional medicine always looks at the bigger picture.
It does. So Dr. Jaramillo, he actually argues that a lot of these stomach problems, they might not be from too much acid.
Oh, really? So not too much acid.
He thinks it might be too little.
Now that is interesting.
Isn't it? So we're all popping Tums and antacids.
Right, at the first sign of trouble.
Exactly. So is he saying all those commercials have it backwards?
Well, not completely. Antacids can be helpful sometimes.
Sure, for temporary relief.
Yeah, but they might not be getting to the root of the problem.
Okay, so to understand this, we need to talk about pH.
All right, pH, the scale, how acidic or alkaline something is.
Exactly. And when it comes to our stomach, we want it to be pretty acidic, right?
Very acidic. Like, a healthy stomach should have a pH around 1 or 2.
Wow, that's intense.
It is. Think about it. That's like lemon juice.
Oh, yeah. Or even battery acid.
I know, right? So no wonder we feel it when things go wrong down there.
You're telling me. But if it's supposed to be so acidic, why even have antacids in the first place?
Great question. And this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
Sometimes our stomachs, they can actually become less acidic than they should be.
Oh, okay, so less acidic.
And when that happens, well, that's when we can run into issues like gastritis or reflux.
So not too much acid, not enough acid.
Right. Counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is. How does that even work? I mean, stomach acid is like powerful stuff.
It is. And it actually has a super important job.
Well, yeah, it breaks down food. That's what I always thought.
Right. But it's more than that.
Okay, so what else does it do?
It helps us absorb nutrients. It can even protect us from harmful bacteria.
Wait, hold on. I never thought of it like that.
Think of it like a powerful disinfectant.
Okay, so that acidity is actually killing off bad stuff we might eat.
Exactly. But when that acidity drops,
Ah.
it's kind of like leaving the door open for troublemakers.
And what kind of troublemakers are we talking?
Things like Helicobacter pylori, a bacteria that can cause ulcers.
So low stomach acid, it makes us more vulnerable.
It can?
And doesn't it mess with our ability to absorb nutrients too?
Absolutely. Things like calcium and vitamin D, they really need that stomach acid to be absorbed properly.
I think Dr. Jaramillo even mentioned a link between stomach acid and healthy hair and nails, which sounds crazy.
It does, but it all comes back to nutrient absorption.
Oh, that's right.
Stomach acid, it helps us break down proteins and absorb minerals like zinc and iron.
And those are key for healthy hair and nails.
They are. So when we don't have enough stomach acid, it's like this chain reaction.
A domino effect.
Yeah, we can't break down food properly. We can't absorb nutrients. We're more vulnerable to infections.
So it really does all go back to that balance in our digestive system.
It all comes back to balance.
Okay, so I get that now. But why do people end up with low stomach acid in the first place?
Well, lots of things can contribute.
Like what?
Stress.
Ugh, stress.
Poor diet.
Yeah, makes sense.
Certain medications can also play a role, even infections.
So if someone's popping antacids when they actually have low stomach acid, what happens then? Are they just masking the problem?
Sometimes, yes. Antacids can offer that temporary relief,
Right.
but they don't address the root cause, and over time, they could actually make things worse
Worse.
by lowering stomach acidity even more.
Wow, so it's like a vicious cycle.
It can be.
Okay, so we know antacids might not always be the answer, but what does Dr. Jaramillo suggest instead?
He advocates for a more holistic approach.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, functional medicine, it's all about finding the root cause.
Okay, so not just masking the symptoms.
Exactly. It's about restoring the body's natural balance and function.
Right, so when it comes to stomach acid, finding that sweet spot is really important.
Absolutely. It's all about balance.
And Dr. Jaramillo also mentioned a connection between stomach acid and bile production. That caught my attention.
Yes. The bile connection. It's fascinating.
It is. Can you explain that a little more?
Sure. So bile is this fluid made by your liver.
Right.
It's essential for breaking down fats.
Okay, so bile helps us digest fats. But how does stomach acid fit into this?
Well, the signal for your gallbladder to release that bile It's actually triggered by stomach acid.
Whoa, wait a minute. Are you saying if you don't have enough stomach acid, your gallbladder doesn't get the message to release bile?
It's like a communication breakdown in the digestive system.
Wow, that's crazy. So the fat just sits there undigested.
Exactly. And that could lead to indigestion, bloating, even gallstones.
You know, I always feel so uncomfortable after a greasy meal. I always thought it was just the fat itself, but now I'm wondering if it could be low stomach acid too.
It's definitely possible, but of course, it's always best to listen to your own body and talk to your doctor.
Of course.
But this just shows how complex digestive issues can be.
It's not just one thing.
Right. It's often a combination of factors.
This is blowing my mind. Stomach acid is so much more important than I ever realized.
It really is.
It's not just about digesting food. It's about protecting us, helping us absorb nutrients, even signaling other organs to do their jobs.
Is the unsung hero of the digestive system. And when it's out of whack, it can have a ripple effect throughout the body.
So what are some other signs someone might have low stomach acid? What should people be looking out for?
Well, Dr. Jaramillo mentions things like bloating.
Okay, bloating, I've definitely experienced that.
Gas, feeling full really quickly after eating.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I can only eat a few bites.
Right. Undigested food in the stool can be another sign.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Even nutrient deficiencies.
Nutrient deficiency. So it's not just calcium and vitamin D that are affected.
Not at all. Low stomach acid can mess with the absorption of iron, B vitamins, magnesium. The list goes on.
And that can lead to all sorts of other problems, right? Fatigue, weakness.
Absolutely. Anemia, even more serious health issues down the line.
Wow, so it really can impact our overall health in a big way.
That's the thing about the body. It's all connected.
You can't just mess with one part without affecting others.
Exactly.
So if someone suspects they might have low stomach acid, what should they do?
Well, first of all, don't self-diagnose.
Right. Always talk to your doctor.
Exactly. They can help you figure out what's really going on.
But are there any simple things people can try at home? Like, would adding more lemon juice to their water help?
Lemon water can be a good start,
Okay.
but it's important to address the root cause.
So working with a functional medicine practitioner is probably a good idea.
Absolutely. They can look at your lifestyle, your diet, any underlying medical conditions.
Right, a more personalized approach.
Exactly. They can help you develop a plan to restore your stomach acid levels and improve your overall gut health.
Now, Dr. Jaramillo also touched on something called the microbiome.
The microbiome, yes.
To be honest, I'm not really sure what that is.
Think of it as a massive community of microorganisms.
Microorganisms like bacteria.
Mostly bacteria, yep. And they all live within our digestive tract.
So there's like a whole ecosystem living inside of us?
Exactly. It plays a vital role in digestion, immunity, even mental health.
Wow. The microbiome is pretty important then.
It's essential. And when it's balanced and thriving, it actually supports healthy stomach acid production.
So if your microbiome is happy, your stomach is happy.
You could say that.
Okay, but how do we keep our microbiome happy and balanced?
That's where things like diet, lifestyle, and stress management come in.
Right, so the same things that are good for our overall health are good for our microbiome too.
Exactly. It's all connected.
This is so fascinating. I'm starting to see how everything is interconnected when it comes to our health.
It really is a complex system, but understanding how it all works can empower us to take control of our own well-being.
Before we move on, let's quickly recap what we've learned about low stomach acid.
Okay, good idea.
So first, it's more common than people think, and it's often misdiagnosed as having too much acid.
Right. People reach for the antacids when they might actually need the opposite.
And second, low stomach acid, it can lead to a whole bunch of problems.
Like gastritis, reflux, bloating, nutrient deficiencies.
Right. And third, if you want to address low stomach acid, you need to take a holistic approach.
That means looking at lifestyle, diet, any underlying medical conditions.
It's about supporting the body's natural ability to heal, not just covering up the symptoms.
Exactly.
Now, I know Dr. Jaramillo also mentioned some specific strategies for actually improving stomach acid levels.
He did. And some of them are surprisingly simple and accessible.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive into those strategies.
Let's do it. I think our listeners will find this part really helpful.
I think so too, because this is where we can really empower people to take control of their gut health.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. And the more we understand about our bodies, the better we can care for ourselves.
I love that. So let's get practical. What are some simple things people can start doing today to support their stomach acid and their overall gut health?
Well, Dr. Jaramillo talks about something as simple as lemon water.
Lemon water. But isn't lemon acidic? Wouldn't that make things worse?
It's true that lemons are acidic, but the citric acid in them can actually help stimulate stomach acid production.
Oh, interesting. So it's like giving your digestive system a little wake-up call in the morning.
Exactly. Plus, lemon water is a good source of vitamin C, which is an antioxidant that can help protect the stomach lining.
Okay, so lemon water, I can get behind that. What else did Dr. Jaramillo recommend?
Something a lot of us overlook, chewing our food thoroughly.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely guilty of scarfing down my lunch sometimes.
It's a common habit, but not chewing properly can really put a strain on your whole digestive system.
Why is that?
When you chew thoroughly, you're not just breaking down food physically, you're also mixing it with saliva.
Right, saliva. It has enzymes that help with digestion, right?
Exactly. The more work your mouth does,
The less work your stomach has to do.
precisely. This can help prevent indigestion, bloating, all sorts of discomforts.
So it's like teamwork, the mouth and the stomach working together.
I like that. And along those lines, Dr. Jaramillo also talks about mindful eating.
Mindful eating, I've heard that term, but I'm not really sure what it means in practice.
It's about being present while you eat,
Mhm.
really savoring each bite, paying attention to the flavors and textures.
So not scrolling through your phone or watching TV while you eat.
Right, because when you're distracted, you miss those cues from your body that you're full.
Oh, that's so true. I've definitely overeaten because I wasn't paying attention.
It happens. But mindful eating helps you reconnect with those natural signals.
So it's not just about digestion. It's about really enjoying your food and listening to your body.
Exactly. It can help you make healthier choices, even reduce stress.
That's amazing. I never thought of it that way.
It's powerful stuff.
So we've got lemon water, chewing thoroughly, mindful eating, all great tips.
They are.
But are there any specific foods that can actually help boost stomach acid production?
Dr. Jaramillo mentions apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar, really?
It contains acetic acid, which is similar to the citric acid in lemon juice.
So it helps stimulate stomach acid?
It can, but start slowly and see how your body reacts,
Right, because some people might find it too strong.
especially if they already have digestive issues. So always listen to your body.
Good advice. Any other foods that might be helpful?
Fermented foods are fantastic. Sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt. They're all rich in probiotics.
Ah, probiotics. Those are the good bacteria that help our gut, right?
You got it. And here's the cool thing.
What's that?
A healthy, diverse microbiome actually supports the stomach's ability to produce acid.
Really? So the probiotics in fermented foods can help boost stomach acid.
Indirectly, yes. When your gut bacteria are thriving, everything works more efficiently, including acid production.
So it's all about creating a healthy environment in our gut.
Exactly. It's like tending to a garden.
I love that analogy.
Mhm.
But I know there are things that can disrupt our inner garden, like stress.
Ah, stress. It's a big one.
It definitely messes with my stomach.
It does for a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones that can interfere with digestion.
So it can actually reduce stomach acid production.
It can.
Yeah.
It's like our body goes into fight or flight mode and digestion gets put on the back burner.
Wow, that makes so much sense. So managing stress is really important for gut health.
Absolutely. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, like exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, those can all make a big difference.
This has been so eye-opening.
I know, right?
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of stomach acid
Yeah.
and its role in our overall health.
It's fascinating how something we often take for granted can have such a profound impact on our well-being.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners today?
If you're dealing with digestive issues, don't automatically assume you have too much stomach acid. It could very well be the opposite.
And instead of reaching for that quick fix like an antacid, maybe explore some of these natural strategies we've been talking about.
Like lemon water, chewing thoroughly, mindful eating, fermented foods.
And don't forget stress management.
Right. Taking care of your mind and body go hand in hand.
This has been a true deep dive into the world of stomach acid. We've only scratched the surface, but I think we've given everyone a lot to think about.
I agree. And remember, knowledge is power.
The more you understand your body, the better you can take care of it.
Exactly.
So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of your own health. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
So it sounds like just popping antacids all the time, it might not be the best solution long term.
You got Dr. Jaramillo, he seems to be advocating for like a more, I don't know, a more holistic kind of approach.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what functional medicine is all about.
It is. And when it comes to stomach acid, it seems like that balance is like super crucial.
It is, yeah. Finding that balance is key.
And there was something else he talked about, the connection between stomach acid and bile production.
Oh, yeah.
That one really got me thinking.
It is interesting, yeah.
So can you kind of break that down a little bit more?
Of course. So bile, that's a fluid that your liver produces.
Okay, so bile comes from the liver.
It does, and it's essential for breaking down fats.
Okay, so bile helps us digest fat. I get that part.
Right, but here's the thing. The signal for your gallbladder to release the bile, it's actually triggered by stomach acid.
Wait, really? So if you don't have enough stomach acid, your gallbladder doesn't get the signal.
It doesn't know when to release the bile, exactly.
So it's like a communication breakdown in your digestive system.
Exactly. It's like a miscommunication.
And then what happens?
Well, if that bile isn't released properly,
Okay.
you might experience indigestion, bloating, even gallstones.
Wow, so those greasy meals that make me feel so awful, maybe it's not just the fat itself.
Could be a sign of low stomach acid, too.
Makes sense, but, everyone's different.
They are, for sure.
It's important to listen to your own body.
Always. Always listen to your body.
But this is a great example of how, digestive issues, they can be so multifaceted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like a whole web of things going on.
Exactly.
My mind is blown. The stomach acid is, way more important than I ever thought.
It's a powerhouse.
It really is.
Naturally.
It's not just about digestion. It's protecting us, helping us absorb nutrients, signaling other organs. It's wild.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. So besides the things we've already talked about, are there other signs of low stomach acid?
Absolutely. Dr. Jaramillo mentions things like bloating. We talked about that.
Okay, bloat.
Gas. Feeling full quickly after eating.
I get that one.
Undigested food in the stool. Even nutrient deficiencies.
Oh, nutrient deficiency. So we talked about calcium, vitamin D, but there are others.
Oh, yeah. Low stomach acid can impact iron absorption.
Okay.
B vitamins, magnesium, all sorts of things.
And that can lead to, fatigue?
Fatigue, weakness, anemia.
All sorts of problems.
The ripple effects can be pretty far-reaching.
Wow. So something as simple as low stomach acid, it can really impact our whole health.
It really highlights how everything in the body is connected,
Right. Like one system impacts another.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's say someone's listening and they think, maybe I have low stomach acid.
Yeah.
What should they do?
Well, first and foremost, don't self-diagnose.
Right. Always talk to your doctor first.
Always a good idea. They can run tests, figure out what's really going on.
But are there any, I don't know, any home remedies or things people could try in the meantime?
Well, there's some things that might be helpful.
Like what?
Lemon water, we talked about that. Some people find apple cider vinegar helpful.
Okay, so those might help stimulate stomach acid production.
They can, but again, it's important to address the root cause, and that often requires a more personalized approach.
So working with a functional medicine practitioner, that's probably a good idea in many cases.
This would be really beneficial, yeah.
Now, Dr. Jaramillo, he also talked about this thing called the microbiome.
The microbiome, yeah.
I've heard that word.
It's a hot topic these days.
It is, but to be honest, I'm not really sure what it is.
So think of it as this massive community of microorganisms.
Microorganism, like bacteria and stuff.
Mostly bacteria, yeah. They live in our digestive tract.
So we have all these bacteria living inside us.
We do. It's a whole ecosystem.
Whoa, that's kind of wild.
It is. And this microbiome, it plays a huge role in so many things.
Like what?
Well, digestion, obviously, but also immunity, even mental health, believe it or not.
Wow, the microbiome is way more important than I realized.
It's essential for our overall health.
So if our microbiome is balanced and healthy,
Mm-hmm.
it helps our stomach produce the right amount of acid?
Exactly. When your gut bacteria are thriving, everything just works better.
So it's like creating a good environment for those good bacteria to flourish.
Exactly. It's like tending to a garden, making sure the soil is healthy.
I like that analogy.
And there are things that can disrupt that balance, of course.
It's like stress.
Stress is a big one. Yep.
Whenever I get stressed out, my stomach is the first thing to act up.
That's really common. You see, when we're stressed, our bodies release hormones.
Okay.
And these hormones, they can actually interfere with digestion.
Oh, wow. So stress can literally mess with our stomach acid levels.
It can, yeah. It's like our body goes into fight or flight mode, and digestion takes a backseat.
So it's super important to manage stress for our gut health, too.
It is. It is. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether that's exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, whatever works for you, it's so beneficial.
This is all making so much sense now. It really highlights how connected everything is in our bodies.
It really does, yeah. It's a complex system, but the more we understand it, the better equipped we are to take care of ourselves.
So true. Before we move on to some more practical tips, let's do a quick recap of what we've learned about low stomach acid so far.
Okay, that's good.
First, it's more common than people think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's often mistaken for having too much acid.
Right, people reach for the antacids when they might actually need the opposite.
Exactly. And second, low stomach acid, it can lead to a whole host of problems.
Digestive issues, nutrient deficiencies, you name it.
And third, addressing low stomach acid, it often requires a more holistic approach.
Looking at the bigger picture, lifestyle factors, diet, stress.
It's about supporting the body's natural healing abilities.
Exactly.
Now, I know Dr. Jaramillo also talked about some specific strategies for improving stomach acid levels.
He did. Some of them are surprisingly simple.
Okay, well, I'm all ears. Let's dive into those strategies.
Let's do it. I think our listeners will find this part really helpful and empowering.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, low stomach acid, but let's get to the solutions.
All right, let's get practical.
What can people actually do to improve their stomach acid levels?
Well, Dr. Jaramillo, he suggests starting with something really simple, like lemon water.
Lemon water. Okay.
Yeah, just a glass of warm lemon water first thing in the morning.
But wait, isn't lemon, like, acidic? Wouldn't that irritate your stomach if it's already sensitive?
That's a good question, and you'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But the citric acid in lemons, it can actually stimulate stomach acid production.
So it's like a gentle nudge for your digestive system.
Exactly. It's like saying, hey, wake up, it's time to start working.
I like that little wake-up call for your stomach.
Plus, lemon water is a good source of vitamin C,
Oh, right, vitamin C.
which can help protect your stomach lining.
Okay, so lemon water, I'm on board with that one.
Good, good.
What else did Dr. Jaramillo recommend?
Something else that we often overlook, and it sounds really basic, is chewing your food thoroughly.
Chewing.
I know, it seems obvious, but so many of us just rush through our meals.
Oh, I'm totally guilty of that.
We all do it. But when we don't chew properly, it can really put a strain on our entire digestive system.
So how does chewing actually help with stomach acid?
Well, when you chew thoroughly, you're breaking down your food more physically, but you're also mixing it with saliva.
Oh, right, saliva. It's got those enzymes that help kickstart digestion.
Exactly. So the more work your mouth does, the less work your stomach has to do later on.
It's like teamwork, the mouth and the stomach working together.
That's a great way to put it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does.
And, along those lines, Dr. Jaramillo, he also talked about the importance of mindful eating.
Mindful eating, yeah, I've heard that phrase a lot, but what does it actually look like in practice?
It's about being fully present while you're eating.
Okay, so no distractions.
Right. Put down your phone, turn off the TV, really savor each bite. Pay attention to the flavors, the textures.
So it's not just about what you're eating, it's how you're eating it.
Exactly. And when you slow down and pay attention, you're more in tune with your body's signals.
So you're less likely to overeat.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. It's all about being more mindful and connected to your body.
It really is. And, it can even help reduce stress.
Oh, wow. So many benefits from just slowing down and paying attention.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. So we've got the lemon water, chewing our food, mindful eating.
All great habits to incorporate.
They are. But what about specific foods? Are there any foods that can help boost stomach acid production?
Dr. Jaramillo mentioned apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Really?
It's kind of having a moment right now.
It is, but I always thought it was more of a health tonic, not specifically for stomach acid.
Well, it contains acetic acid,
Okay.
which, similar to lemon juice, can help stimulate stomach acid.
So how do you take it? Just like a tablespoon in water before meals?
You could try that, but definitely start slowly.
Right. Not everyone can handle that much vinegar.
Exactly. Some people might find it too harsh, so always listen to your body.
Good advice. Good advice.
And you know what else is fantastic for gut health? Fermented foods.
Oh, right. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi.
Yep, all those delicious things are packed with probiotics.
Probiotics, the good bacteria.
Exactly. And a healthy, diverse microbiome, it actually supports your stomach's ability to produce acid.
So eating fermented foods can help with stomach acid production indirectly.
Exactly. When your gut bacteria are happy, everything works more efficiently, including acid production.
It all comes back to that gut health, doesn't it?
It really does. It's like tending to a garden, creating a healthy environment for everything to flourish.
I love that analogy. I think we've used it a couple of times now.
Well, it's a good one.
It is. And speaking of things that can disrupt our inner garden, we can't forget about stress.
Yeah, stress, the ultimate gut disruptor.
It really is. Stress just wreaks havoc on my stomach.
I hear you. And there's a reason for that.
What's that?
When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones that can interfere with digestion, include stomach acid production.
So it's like our body's in fight or flight mode and digestion just shuts down.
Pretty much. So finding healthy ways to manage stress, that's crucial for a happy gut.
Makes sense. It's all connected.
It really is. Mind, body, gut. It's all interconnected.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of stomach acid.
It has been.
I feel like I've learned so much.
Too.
And hopefully your listeners have as well.
I hope so.
It seems like stomach acid, it's not the enemy we often think it is.
That's actually pretty important.
It is. It plays a vital role in our health, and when it's out of whack, it can lead to a whole host of problems.
But the good news is there are things we can do to support healthy stomach acid production naturally.
Exactly. And those simple changes, like the lemon water, chewing your food, mindful eating, they can make a big difference.
They really can. And it's all about being proactive and taking control of your own health.
I love that. So to all our listeners out there, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of your own health.
Absolutely. And remember, you are your own best advocate.
That's right. So pay attention to your body, make those healthy choices, and don't be afraid to seek guidance from healthcare professionals when you need it.
Wise words.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up here, but we'll be back next time with another deep dive into a new and exciting health topic, so stay tuned.